Yo yo. Should be back. Apologies about that. I updated the bit rate, so hopefully that's better. I'm just like getting my stuff set back up. Alright. Sorry about that. But hopefully, it can hang, you know. Cool. Let me just quick repost the link because it's a different one. Just give me 1 second and then, get back to it. Sorry about this. I think it's the first time I've had like tech issues on stream, so. Cool. Alright, so probably lost a bunch of people, but we can keep the ball rolling. So just taking a look at this again, BTC and ETH again, I'm still looking for lower. I think this will kind of give it that that leg down, so that way it can kind of hit this PCZ. I might react from the 786. It might go to the 886 for the full thing. This is kind of just like my zone that I'll be interested in looking for longs. So ultimately, that's where I think a great opportunity to long for like way up, especially if we're going for like if BTC does go for like 40K or something before. Like the I don't know, because I feel like when it goes this summer until like Q3, Q4, it's just gonna rip. So yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty bearish on this again in the short to midterm. Same thing with BTC. ETH to BTC is not that hot looking either. I still want to see lower, at least the 786, and then probably come out, take these equal lows and the 886. Okay. So yeah, looking for definitely down here. Looking at, let's see, some Forex stuff. Euro. I was looking for those originally, but I mean, it looks like after tapping into the monthly that this thing is pretty cooked. So I would say like that would be your key swing high. Here for market structure, we broke it. You filled this for value gap. Dang, this quality's still tough for. I'm not getting like any issues with the stream, but on my end, I'm getting like latency lag, kind of with my cursor. Alrighty, but yeah. Where are we going from here? I mean, ultimately, I think you have this, well, honestly, I think the most ideal spot in terms of looking for something for Euro longs would be like, that's your volume imbalance. This is your demand block. That would be like my high time frame area of interest for Euro. So something, I don't know, maybe we get something like this tomorrow, come up early next week, come down, and then something like that. I think would be ideal. Jeez. Because you do still have, like, these are relative equal highs. Like, you're no, these aren't getting left. Like, they're gonna get taken. I'm sure there's buy side liquidity right above. I think that's, like, gonna be a great spot to just, like, punt a swing long. Like, that, to me, would be a really good play if you can get entry in down here. Jeez, my trading view is not liking this. I don't really have anything else running. Hold on. Sure. I have like a MacBook Pro that's like a year old, so this should not be like lagging. Here, let me try refreshing. Alright, it seems to be better so far, but yeah. Still kind of doing it. What if I can I? Alright. I switched the output back down to 1280, 720, so I don't know if the quality is gonna go down a bit. But yo, Falls trading style, yeah, I can definitely talk about that. I think it should be fully, yeah, for some reason, like, my MacBook, that's so weird. I've never had, I don't know if it's trading view, like, my cursor, like, display isn't displaying properly, and it like lags what I'm doing by a couple seconds. It's actually quite annoying. I'll try to get through the key stuff because this is brutal. All right, let me get the tunes going for now. Apologies about this, guys. Nah, I'm not bullish on BTC. Maybe we get like a little bounce, but I think we're still going lower. It would have needed to have like gone here, in my opinion, but you never know. Could hold out. So yeah, Euro, again, that volume imbalance inside that daily demand is going to be crucial. There we go. So, yeah, that's what I'll be looking out for. Pound does have a bunch of relatively equal lows here. Like nice little trend line liquidity pretty much. But ultimately, I think it would be silly to be bullish here. The most I could see is maybe something that comes up here and you fill the rest of this before going down lower, but I'm still leaning more bearish, especially I think Dixie, we'll go to Dixie in a bit because I think that might be good for just honestly ripping from here to the monthly fair value gap, because like indices are rallying with it. Like it's not, like indices are not taking a hit. Bitcoin taking a little bit of a hit. But yeah, indices are just absolutely chatting. So pound, I definitely would be looking for lower prices. I do kind of like this fair value gap here inside of this like breaker almost, you could maybe argue. and from there I would just be looking for lower prices. I think that would be my short-term point of interest for potentially lower. If you don't react here, I'd have to wait and see what shapes up and get more confirmation. But here would be definitely, if you give me something on lower time frame, would be great. Euro to pound, just high time frame wise, I actually dug up a post in Chroma the other day from like December when I first looked at this, and I think I originally had this high anchored like here, but then we ended up coming up higher, which is fine, like it's still valid. But then, yeah, I definitely think this harmonic's gonna play out. We would be looking for that 786 retrace, which would fill a lot of this inefficiency down here, take out a lot of these lows. So we're slowly making our way. We could eventually, like, again, like realistically, like especially on like this, like I could totally see like price action, like something like that, like just like making its way down there. Obviously it's not going to go backwards, but you get the point. So definitely like in the coming weeks, months, bullish on pound against euro. So bearish euro. That's why I kind of like pound here. If we're talking about just like taking those lows and then potentially like, because like you have your range, in my opinion, this would be like your range. You can probably pull it back from, or here, yeah, that would be the range. So as long as we don't get a like successful auction back into this range, so looking at it like this, yeah, we could easily take these lows, maybe quick come down, tag this sell side liquidity or something. As long as it doesn't really get acceptance back into it, this would have to be like something news driven, maybe bounce. But ultimately we have this massive, well, we did fill this one or tap into this one, but these two are untaken. And then further above we have this weekly, it might even be monthly, no, not monthly, but we do have a weekly volume imbalance that I think is my like more high time frame kind of target, with this being like a bigger month or weekly market maker buy model vibe. Like I'm actually curious to see, is there any other kilos? No. And also if you look at this thing, holy cow, thing is, where would be my range? Would I pull it? Let's see. Well, you can be like relatively, they're both going to be bullish or bearish against like the US dollar, but then like in terms of each other, yeah, you can be like more bullish. Like I think in the coming weeks on like higher time frames, pound will be stronger than euro, but euro can still perform bullishly. Yeah, so this being on the weekly, holy cow, yeah, this looks nice for, it's like a 3 drives too, like a weekly 3 drives. It's huge. So I just realized I still have this Bybit thing. Goodbye. But yeah, pretty certain this will eventually get taken. But again, this is like the weekly chart. This could take years, probably like 2-3 years again. But I think high time frame wise, like pound is definitely right for longs. Yeah, and this is still, I think if when you come down to this PCZ, euro will absolutely like face rip against pound if it plays out like the way most harmonics do. But I don't know how well this will work on, let me see if there's anything else in the past that I could find as an example. This actually looks like one, like it's a little bit deeper than you'd probably like. Oh wow, this actually is 8. Oh my gosh. 6-6. This is perfect. This is literally the same type of harmonic. So you have that 7-8-6 retrace. And then you get your confirmation low here. And look at that. Boom. Huge. So that's basically, I'm sure I could probably mark up like a I don't really see like a crab maybe. Like high time frame harmonics honestly are pretty crazy if you get them in the right context. No, I don't think that's far enough. Oh, I can't get A to anger properly, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my bias on that. So today I took a long and a short on Australian dollar to US dollar. This is actually starting to become one of the ones I also like against the US dollar. So I'm kind of, I have it in my, I have a list of like 9 different things. It's like indices, forex, and then crypto, and it's like 3 things for each. So I'm adding it right now to the rotation. We'll see if it sticks, but ultimately this is a really clean market maker sell model I was talking about in Chroma yesterday, and also in the post earlier today on the short. But ultimately I was talking with one of the members last night. Actually, I was like, I think it was around 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern, and I was like, oh, because he trades market maker sell models a lot. I was like, oh, would you short this from here? And we ended up like deciding like it could definitely potentially go like higher in the short term. So I was like, I'm not gonna set bids overnight. And then like lo and behold, we literally only fell from like right around there. But yeah, I was able to capitalize. I think it was like around here on that second short, but I ended up, what was it? Sell side liquidity was obviously well out of reach. It was over here. It was like right here. I had shorted, and I wanted to see there's a 1 hour fair value gap like right around here, a bit further to the left, but unfortunately, right here, we didn't make it. So I think in time this will play out. This could be like your last like real chance maybe for like a short. I'll see what London has going on tomorrow, but not gonna like bet anything just yet. I usually wake up right towards the end of the London session, so maybe I can catch something before the end of it. Quick running through just some cryptos. I'm not gonna do a ton just because my computer's being wonky tonight with the stream. I'll have to play around with the settings. Apologies again about the whole thing. I should have just left it alone. But Atom, still waiting for lower. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. I have to sneeze. Oh, no. You ever one of those moments where you like make your sneeze go away, and then it's just like the worst feeling. I have like a little bit of a cold. But yeah, this is holding up relatively well. I don't like the fact that we swept the low twice. But I definitely would like to see something quick down. Like I feel like it's going to be like an impulsive thing and then bounce really hard. So I'm going to have to be kind of quick with getting my buys in. But yeah, I think this will be a great high time frame long for a couple months, years. So we shall see. That was the one I just wanted to check on. APT not really doing much, just holding that ice line. Though it looks if BTC rolls over, you have local sell side liquidity here. You have this sell side liquidity. You have this imbalance here. You have a bigger imbalance here. So you do have a lot of different targets that you can look for on the way down. Algo, I don't know. Like we did come in and we took this low but it's not really looking great here. Like, it looks like it just wants to keep selling. And there's, at least on a Binance perp chart, there's no new lows. Like, this is price discovery to the downside. To the upside, if you flip it. But no, it's pretty cooked. So BNB approaching higher ice lines that are not really, it's just kind of ranging here, like between this resistance and like these sell side liquidity lows. Doge, another one just kind of dying off. Again, this is gonna probably take weeks and months, but just waiting for that. ETH we already looked at. Oh, hold on. ETC, like, it's such a shame it never really did anything with this. It's just not the right market conditions for a high time frame like alt harmonics, unless you're like Render, which Render looks great. This honestly doesn't even look terrible. I mean, it's probably just gonna like come up and then come up and eventually just bleed out. But LDO, one of the few that sold off quite a bit. I think like close to 20-something% in the past 2 days. Yeah, pretty much like 18. So then Link, on the other hand, stuck in its endless range. I'm about to take Link off my charts. It's just like, it's not much to talk about. I hate looking at it. Mana, actually, oh wow. I saw something about a post on Twitter. I think it was talking about how Apple has like some sort of AI or virtual, I don't know, basically that these types of metaverse type stuff is going to be really hot again. So we'll see. We did kind of like, you could argue this is PCZ hit, so if we come down for maybe another scoop, like that to me in my opinion would be a good opportunity to go long targeting these inefficiencies, because that's like in between two big ice lines. So that would be the move in my opinion. Now I'll set alert actually down here. Matic, we hit the PCZ. I talked about this actually last week on stream. This was beautiful, and we are starting to react, which is awesome. The only thing is, like, I don't want to get in until BTC starts like turning the corner. Right now, I still think lower. So near, again, like hanging on to that old low or high. Yeah. Ain't got much to hold on to though. Render, I wanted to see this absolutely chat up and hit the PCZ, but it didn't even come close. I gotta pull it up on a different chart though, because we do have a high time frame bearish bat potentially. We gotta see the what the reaction is gonna be like. But yeah, I think it's this idea kind of died. And we ultimately just are, I think, gonna go towards $3. Like, I think that's gonna be like or around $3 is where the top's gonna be for this in the midterm. Maybe get one more impulse, but you should not be going above like 3. Like, you shouldn't get a close above 327. If you do, like, then that's game on for much higher prices. But Soul, just kind of range in. We'll see what happens, but I guess you could look at the range like that too. I don't know. We'll see. Sushi, another one I'm taking off the watch list. This thing looks... Actually, if this thing gives me like a PO3 kind of thing, I think that'll be interesting. because this thing's at like low of low, or actually, what is there? This low at 48 cents. It's like 50% sale to its current prices. But if it dies, it dies. So maybe not the best one. Kava, what was this? What was going on with this one? Oh yeah. All right. Well, we took this local buy side liquidity. I think what was this? What was it? This this got requested on was it Wednesday, Tuesday? You know, we did it here, and I was saying hopefully a retrace, but you didn't even get the retrace. Wow. This thing is strong. It maybe now it's gonna come down for that second leg. I don't know, but I don't think I'd. Now that you took this high, I would not want to see it take this low. So I would probably you could probably get away with something like that for 3R. That's not bad. Because there's no market structure break until this low, really, and you could get a wick and get away with it. If you close below this low, it's tough because that's like an intermittent low. It's not really like a proper swing low, so I'd maybe argue. I'd probably wait to see the reaction if you got a close and not just like a wick. But if we got like a wick down and it kind of bounced hard, that I think would be a good opportunity. And you could even probably tighten up, but ultimately, invalidation would be there. Fetch, ooh, starting to follow the arrows. I would think this was a request over the weekend for Sunday VC. If I don't, and I think ultimately I was looking for take this buy side liquidity here, fill some of this inefficiency more, and then come down for this pattern completion zone of a potential Gartley. It could go even a little bit lower, right around there would be like spot on, but I wouldn't be surprised if it front ran it a bit. That's fetch. Total market cap doesn't look as great as BTC, to be honest. Actually, they look relative. They usually look relatively the same, but it looks a bit like lower. But we still haven't closed below here, so not a terrible sign in my opinion. Quick switching back to indices. So indices, we can see now that we have finally cleared this 40 whatever. I think this was back in end of March, so pretty much like 2 months, 40 days or so of ranging. Oh, I can't even mark this, but ultimately, I had mentioned this before, we did take the weekly volume imbalance on NASDAQ, but not on this chart yet. So that's where I would be. My eyes are here after this buy side liquidity, but you still also have these. Oh, you did take the relative equalize here. Okay, so buy side liquidity next. This is another like high you barely swept, but then buy side liquidity, this volume imbalance. That is my potential area for like swing shorts. Economy's going down, world's ending kind of vibe, but honestly, I wouldn't surprise me if we just end up going and we're back to like new highs. Well, not new highs here, but big sort of structure shifting kind of versus coming down and new lows. But we do have this volume imbalance here. Didn't fill. Let's see if the monthly has any. The only thing is the monthly doesn't really have a lot of inefficiencies to the downside. You had this volume imbalance, but it filled it. You had the one here, it filled it. It did fill it fully filled this last fair value gap. So then you look and it's like, I guess you have one here, and that could be like, I've talked about the whole potential really big Gartley harmonic idea, or bat even. The only thing is 886. A 786 to me is a lot more, or even like a front run of a 786 would be a lot more likely. Yo, Modisim, what's up? Hope you've been doing well. But yeah, if not, like this 4,400 is definitely, I think the high time frame target. But I'm sure this volume bounce will provide a bit of a reaction on the weekly. So I'm getting very congested at this point. Nasdaq absolutely chatting. I don't think we took the buy side liquidity here yet. Yeah, all's well, man. I'm just a little under the weather, so I'm like very congested right now. Not equal highs. Oops. Buy side liquidity. But yeah, that would be the next draw for me on Nasdaq. You do have a like this would be a interesting point for me on the weekly for Nasdaq if we do keep going, because that's a balanced price range. So what I could potentially be seeing happen is maybe around the same time that ES gets its volume amounts, this is something like this. So we'll see. Again, though, we don't really have much inefficiency besides down here. You do have relatively equal lows, but this was taking other liquidity. So again, it could just be another lower low in the infinite curve of the US stock market. But yeah, quick wrap it up with Dixie here. Dixie chatted its way into fully filling this weekly fair value gap. That you can see, that would be the full fill. Waiting for this to, jeez, this lag. All right, so yeah, filled that. However, structurally it looks really good here in my opinion for higher prices. I would be potentially looking for, I guess, maybe this daily fair value gap to provide some sort of short-term resistance, maybe pull back down to EQ range a bit before you do have a daily volume imbalance here. Untapped monthly FEG literally right above range highs. So maybe we don't get that kind of PO3 at the lows, but we do still have, we've only tapped into the monthly FEG to the downside. I would like to still see these lower prices. And again, high time frame wise, I'm still waiting for this what's it called? Oh, my nose is itchy. Market maker sell model. So yeah, that's kind of it for this week. Apologies for the short stream and technical issues. If anybody has any last minute requests, I'm happy to quick look at one or two things, but otherwise I think we'll end it here. Alrighty. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Peace.